All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you, everyone. I've just realized that my sound was off. So again, good evening. Good evening, and thank you for letting me know. All right. That's why we are part. I hope that you can hear now. All right, so just either give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know that you're hearing. You should be hearing fine right now. So just let me know. All right, give me a wave. Are you hearing me? All right, I'm waiting for your response in the chat. All right, I see that thumbs up, so you're hearing me well. Thank you so much, guys, and it's great having you locked on, Eugenia Cumberbatch. Great having you locked on to conversations with Dr. Els. All right, I was asking, right? I was asking, do you ever feel irritable? And you know, have you ever asked yourself why am I so irritable lately? Right? And sometimes we ask ourselves that after we have snapped at someone. Have you ever snapped at anyone? Of course, I do. I do from time to time, and so I want to I really want us to kind of think through this because sometimes we don't know why we snap at someone or why we as what we might say our fuse is short and so I want to really begin this conversation this evening, and of course I want to encourage you again to just share this conversation with someone. I know this is something that can help someone, right? But I want to begin with an important distinction. I want to say clearly and upfront irritability can be information, all right? But it is not permission. What do I mean by that? You know, uh, being irritable could give you information. It could tell you what is happening, right? But that is not permission to snap at people or to be rude or anything like that. It's not permission. So being tired, being stressed, being overloaded or maybe grieving and worried, all right, or even emotionally stretched, these things may help explain why you have such a short of fuse. They may explain, okay, this is why I am behaving like that, right? Uh, these things could explain that. Why is it your fuse is shorter? Some people, when they're hungry, their fuse becomes shorter, if you know what I'm talking about. Some people, when they're tired or sleepy, they have a short fuse, right? And you see, this is what I'm talking about. Someone says, "Whoa, that was me today." See, because it happens to all of us. So this is not something that you make you feel that you are bad because it happened to you, or that it only happens to somebody out there or anything like that. It happens to the best of us, as we would usually say. All right, and that helped to explain why our fuse is shorter. I want to pause and just say hi to Alicia David. Great having you locked on to conversations with Dr. Els. All right, remember, guys, share this conversation and become a part of this conversation. Now, being tired, being worried, if you're grieving, all right, explain why your fuse might be shorter. But let me say, it does not explain or it does not give you or make excuses for hurtful behavior. Because sometimes the truth is, when we get stressed or when we overload, we could hurt persons with our words or anything like that, right? Really and truly, it's not a license to say, well, I did that because I was stressed. On the other hand, being stressed or tired or so help you to explain what is happening, right? So tonight, what I want to do on this conversation is not to excuse the reaction. Is really to recognize what is happening early enough so that we could respond differently. Because I'm telling you, there are times I am up and I am really tired, or I am frustrated not getting certain things done, and I want to get there because I'm late or something like that, and I could become irritable. Right. So I know that this happens, as I said, to the best of us. And if this happened to you, you could put in the chat a thumbs up. You can just give a like, and while you're there, you could just let us know where you are watching this live from. All right. You could just let us know. Usually we have folks from different continents, and I really enjoy your presence with me in this conversation. So tell me, let me ask you this question, and I want you to put it in the comments, right? I want you to put it in the chat. What usually changes first when your capacity is running low? What for you? What changes first? If you realize your fuse is getting shorter, or you're tired, your capacity is running low, what would you say change first? Is it your patience? Is it your concentration? Is it your energy? Uh, is it your sleep, or even your desire to be around people, or anything else? Just put it in the chat. I want to see. I want you to talk to me and talk with me. What usually change first? For me, I think is my patience. I'm telling you up front. I usually joke at times and say, well, I'm not a hospital, or I'm not a doctor. Well, I'm not a medical doctor. I guess I have to say that now, right? Because I'm a doctor. But I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't have patience. I usually joke by saying that. But when I am overwhelmed, or when my capacity is running low, I think my patience is the thing that really change first. All right. So I want you to put in your chat. I'm reading your chat. I want to see what changes first when your capacity is running low. Is it your desire to be around people? Is it your energy or your concentration? Right. And what happens when you see that is happening? Sometimes the event in front of you is not really the whole event. All right. Sometimes you drop a cup. Have you ever really checked it out that sometimes when you are tired or you're irritable, you can't find your keys, you drop a cup, somebody, there's an unanswered text, and the question asks at the wrong moment. So you do you know what I'm talking about? You can't find this, or your child or children, they're calling your name for the fifth time, and you're not really thinking about them or studying that. These may only be the final drop in the container that was already full. You are already irritable. All right, you're already stressed or tired, and these things are happening, and so you start seeing these things. You start realizing, well, you don't want to be around people, or you start realizing, well, I can't find this. I open the fridge and I can't see this, or I squeeze my hand in the door. Things like that. Tell me, has that ever happened to you? All right. These are some of the things that causes irritability, and I'm telling you, it is not just what happens there. It is something that you have to watch. All right. And for those of you who are parents, this book is a very good book that would help you All right, this book would help you to understand, because sometimes children makes us irritable. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Sometimes children make us irritable, and this book, Fruit of the Womb, is something that would be quite helpful. All right. So we're talking about being irritable, having the short fuse. Now, hear this. When capacity is healthy, we observe ordinary frustration more easily. When your capacity is full, all right, when you are okay, right, when you are able, you have the energy and you're able to go longer and things are nice. Frustrate We are able to handle frustration easily, or more easily than before. But hear this: when capacity is depleted, when you're tired, when you're grieving, that same thing that frustrated you before, if you know what I'm talking about, that same frustration can feel like one demand too many. If you know what I'm talking about. All right. And that does not mean you're becoming a terrible person. All right, let me just pause and say hi to Curtis Thomas. Great having you locked on to Conversations with Dr. Els. And let me remind you guys to share this conversation. Somebody needs to hear this, right? A husband, a wife, a mother, a father, a child, a teenager, a youth need to hear this, because we all get irritable at times, all right? So I'm saying that, when things are when you are chipper, when things are nice, and you're full of energy, the thing that frustrated you, you're able to handle that much easier. But when you're really tired, or something happened and you're grieving, or you're hungry in some cases, stuff like that, the very thing that you were able to handle back then becomes one thing too many. And that doesn't mean that you're a terrible person. It means that you need to pay attention to the load that you are carrying, and you need to pay attention to the way that that load is affecting your response. Like I said, come on, we're human, all right? And it takes sometimes just a little thing to cause us to snap at someone. And when we see that, it really isn't necessarily that little thing, but it is because, like a cup, your capacity is full, all right? And so now that little thing just kind of tip over to the edge, and you become irritable, and you say something that you didn't want to say, you behave or where you didn't want to behave. All right, so now that is affecting your response. Anybody know what I'm talking about? So here's what I want you to do. When that happens, ask yourself this question: what was happening before the moment I reacted? Think about it for a moment. What was happening before the moment I reacted? So yeah, had I eaten? Had I slept? Was I already worried about something? Or was I trying to hold five unfinished thoughts at once? Was I feeling unappreciated, or maybe rushed? Did I feel afraid or emotionally alone? These are some of the things that you're gonna have to ask yourself in that moment that you feel as if you're irritated, and you're tired. So you ask yourself, really and truly, what was happening at the moment, or just before? What was happening just before these things? And if you can really, figure that out, that is going to help how you deal with that is going to help how you deal with you know others, how you respond to others. That is very, very, very important. And I want you to understand that. All right. So understand this: irritability often has something under it. It's not just that alone. There is often something beneath the surface of you being irritable. All right. And what I'm encouraging you that you could do is to figure out what is it under the surface that is causing me to feel irritable. That is the question that you need to ask yourself. All right. Because things like anger and irritation are often emotions that we could see, but underneath them may be things like fear or embarrassment. So someone shows their anger, they're angry at you, or they seem irritated. You could see that. But under that, oftentimes, things like fear, or they may be embarrassed, or they may be disappointed. You may be disappointed about something, all right? Or you may even feel helpless, right? So these are some of the things that are on the underlying thing. You might be grieving, or you might be ashamed, you know, and you could put other things in the chat, that causes that. Because sometimes it might be loneliness. Sometimes you might just be exhausted. I'm really tired, and all of that, and you begin now to show that in your anger, or show your irritation. And if all I say is everybody is getting on my nerves, I may miss the deeper truth as to what is happening. You know, or it might be, I'm scared about money. I have not recovered from the last difficult conversation that I have had, or I am carrying too much and I do not know how to ask for help. Things like that. I'm exhausted and I keep acting as though I'm fine. I keep behaving when people ask, how am I doing? I'm fine. But there is something beyond that. Here's what's important, and this is key in this conversation. Listen, guys, if you hear nothing else that I've said before, I want you to hear this. Naming what is underneath does not magically solve it, but it gives you a better target. Dr. Els, what do you mean? Now, if you know what is causing you to be irritable or angry, if you are able to name that, if you're able to say it is fear, or I'm just overwhelmed. If it's just something like that, or I want support, I'm afraid. Things like that. Things like that. If you know what it is, it makes it easier for you to seek help. It makes it easier for you to know why you are behaving that way. Because hear this: your body often warns you before your mouth does. Check that out. Just think about it for a moment. Before you say something, before you snap, before you react or anything like that, your body oftentimes warn you. All right? And many people notice the reaction only when they hear their tone. But the body may have been speaking way earlier, a tight jaw, swallowing deeply, swallowing regularly, sorry, or shallow breath, things like that. You feel restless, or you have a lot of thoughts racing through your mind. Any of these things resonate with you, right? You have a tense shoulder, you have a headache, you just restless, or you have difficulty concentrating. All these are things that can really, your body is talking to you. And therefore, what you need to do is to build a body check-in into your day. Dr. Els, what was that? Take some time and notice how you feel in your body. Do what I call a body check-in. All right? Things like, have I eaten? Did I drink enough water? What about how often did I move? Did I pause? Was there any change in my sleep pattern? What about my energy or tension or my concentration? You check those things. And if those are some of the things that really are causing you to be irritable and snap and have that short fuse, and if it's consistent, consider some kind of support rather than just simply pushing harder. And some kind of support mean that you may just need to talk to a friend, or you may need to talk to a mental wellness coach like myself. You might just want to talk to someone. Or let me just put a plug for something that I've done that is really, really awesome. All right. I've developed an app, right, that can help you in things like this. And so I want if you are interested in seeing this app or learning more about this app, you could type the word reset, RESET. Type the word reset in the comments, and I will personally send you some information. It is free, so you don't need to worry about is it something I'm gonna pay for or such like that. Okay. I want to help you because, like I said, each of us from time to time we get irritable. Our fuse get shorter, and sometimes we just need to name this thing. We just need to do the body checking. All right. And I'm not saying that the body checking is a cure, but it is an early warning system. And what you need to do is to be able to create space between feeling and reaction. Okay? Create that space between feeling and reaction. Because emotional regulation does not mean never feeling angry. Some people will want to tell you you're not supposed to feel angry. That's not what I'm saying, right? Uh, if you regulate your emotions, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be angry. It means learning to notice, learning to understand, respond to that emotion without allowing every feeling to become an immediate action. All right. And that's very, very important for you to do. That's very important for you to know what is happening. All right. It is very, very important. You guys, you gotta check that out. You gotta find yourself, you gotta find yourself with your body check. All right. And sometimes a useful sentence will be, I'm more activated than this situation deserves. Or I need a few minutes before I answer. Things like that. Sometimes it might just mean I need to step away for a bit. Another one is, I am overloaded right now and I do not want to take that out on you. That's how you can react, right? That's how you can react to the person that you're with. All right, that's how. That's those are some of the things that you could say. All right, and understand this. That kind of sentence can protect a relationship, whether it's a husband or wife relationship or what. That could protect that relationship. Just telling the truth. That just telling how you're feeling right now. All right. So you understand that. Are you with me? Right. I hope you're with me. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. And therefore, it is really important that you understand your body. And so repair matters when you get it wrong. Like I said at the start, we all become irritable at times. We all, snap at times. But understand this. If you've done that, repair matters. We may get it wrong sometimes. You will not regulate perfectly. And sometimes, you'll still raise your voice, or you might still become sharp, or you might still withdraw or say something you wish you have not said. Yeah, because we're human. And and so we need to repair. And repair a song something like this, my tone was not okay. I'm overwhelmed. But that was not the reason, not but that was not a good reason to speak to you that way. I'm sorry. Let me try again. All right. So you something like that. You notice what repair does. Or does not. Because it doesn't say I am sorry, but you made me mad. You know, repair on the behavior while still allowing you to name that condition that contributed to it. So that's what you got to do. You got to repair. All right? And so uh you have to be able to build that low capacity plan before you need it. What would I do when I feel irritable? What would I do if I'm hurt? What would I do? And you could probably ask the person who's closest to you to help you recognize your warning signs. Decide what you will do when capacity is low. Because, like I said before, for all of us, we get to the place at times where our capacity is low. And maybe you reduce unnecessary decisions, or you postpone some non-urgent conversation, or you might just want to take 10 minutes quiet time. You might just want to eat or take a walk, or write down things in your mind, or say honestly, I do not have much bandwidth tonight. I really can't talk about this. Because healthy relationships do not require, unlimited capacity. You will not always have unlimited capacity. A healthy relationship require enough honesty to stop pretending that your capacity is unlimited. Very, very important. You don't have to try to be a superhero. All right? It's very important that you understand. And if irritability persists, uh maybe you just need to get some sleep. All right? Maybe you just need to, move away. If it's persistent, if it's severe, um if it's accompanied by any major changes in your sleep or your energy or your concentration functioning, substance substance use or abuse, alcohol or whatever, um, you know, this is bigger than what you're dealing with. Like I said before, just seek some sort of qualified professional support. If you find that this is really beyond you, find some support. I want to pause and say hi to the beautiful Dale, Janley, Neil. Great having you locked on to Conversations with Dr. Els. All right. But hear this. Your irritation may be telling you something. Listen to the signal without handing it the steering wheel. All right. Don't let that cause you to damage others. You know, this week, before you say everybody is getting on my nerves, ask a better question. What is my capacity trying to tell me? And then when you get that answer, choose one response that protects both your well-being and the people around you that you love. All right? And before I close, because I'm going to close with this. Before I close, if you've been really listening to this and you are thinking, this is me. Someone said earlier in the chat, this is me today. Now, if that is you, if at times you feel, it to yourself, you feel real irritable, and at times you have a short fuse and stuff like that, if you have been overwhelmed and, it's starting to leak into how you respond to the people around you, I want to give you something. Hey guys, on Wednesday is my birthday. And as a birthday gesture, I am giving to you. Just for being on this live. And if you know that you've been feeling overwhelmed from time to time or irritable or anything like that, anything that I've talked about, just for that, as a birthday present, I'm supposed to get birthday present for my birthday, but I want to give you this, all right? I want to give you something that can help you if you are one of those persons that I'm talking about. Something practical. All right. I created something called the Overwhelm to Repair Reset. The Overwhelm to Repair Reset. And it's a simple 5-minute check-in to help you move through what we're talking about: awareness, regulation, responsibility, and repair. Because we all at times get short fuse. And so to receive this special birthday gift that I'm giving you, again, I want you to type in the comment, type the word reset. Okay? Type the word in the comment, reset. RESET. All right. And when you type the word reset, I'll send it directly to you in Messenger. So you could use it the next time that you feel your capacity starting to leak into your relationships. All right. So if you type the word reset in the chat, you will receive a message and it will walk you through how you can get this special gift that I've taken time out to really create to help you. All right. And I want to encourage you, if you're watching this conversation after the live, you can still type the word reset and you can still get that gift. All right. I'm going to allow it for this, my birthday week, and then I'm going to pull it off. So you can get that. But guys, hear me. We all at times have low capacity, and it causes our fuse to shorten. If that is you, you know what I'm talking about. Share this conversation. All right? Type the word reset, share this conversation, and I will bless you with something special. All right? So, thank you so much. This has been Conversations with Dr. Els, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. I want to do something next week, and I'm really thinking it's going to be something a bit controversial, but Still exciting, right? Controversial, but still exciting. I want to just take a shift next week, God's willing. I'll let you know more about it. So listening for that in the week. And I want you to check. I want you to, check out my page, and you would see I do a lot of posts that can help you in relationships and in your mental wellness. Okay, and just check out my page and invite someone to check out that page. So this has been Conversations with Dr. Els, and until next week, God's will, God bless you, and I am looking forward to seeing you next Sunday for another Conversations with Dr. Els. And remember, whatever you do this week, add value to someone's life. All right. God bless you and have a wonderful week.